Kamusta foodies, I am Caitlin Valentin, the founder and face behind Be Fat, Be Happy, a food and travel community where I share the tastiest bites and fun experiences from around the world.
Travel is my lifestyle. As a proud Filipina that lives in New York, my mission is simple. Put Asian food in a spotlight where it belongs.
Lately, have you noticed the boom in Asian fine dining here in the Big Apple? Post-pandemic, our community came back not just strong, but flavor-packed, with a new wave of chefs mixing authenticity, creativity, and straight-up magic.
Oh my God.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh.
Today, I'm taking you on a journey through the high end of Asian cuisine. Expect everything from reimagined Chinese desserts
It's just a moment for the beauty.
to the only Filipino fine dining spot in New York City.
I was born and raised in the Philippines. I come from nothing.
Plus, we'll catch up with an old favorite and see its new incarnation.
There's a lot of flavor inside, so we collect these and then make into the sauce.
Oh, and we'll even sit down with stir-fry guru herself to talk history, food, and why Chinatowns matter now more than ever. I know we have a lot to get to, so let's jump right in. Food has always been at the center of my Filipino upbringing. Weekends were basically full-blown fiestas with my brother, dad, mom, and her, wait for it, 57 cousins. Yeah, you heard that right. I have a huge yet tight-knit extended family. Food wasn't just food. It was family, culture, love, and laughing until 3 a.m. That's why my motto, Be Fat, Be Happy, isn't just about eating with joy. It's about living with joy. FAT actually stands for food and travel. But for me, it's about staying hungry in every way to feed my appetite, feed my soul, and feed others. Our first stop, Hutong, a place where Chinese cuisine is held to the highest standard. And guess who I get to meet? The legendary Grace Young. She's a James Beard Award winner, nicknamed the Stir-Fry Guru and the accidental voice of Chinatowns. Yes, she is iconic. But before our chat, we're heading into the kitchen to see how their famous Peking duck is made.
This is probably the most famous duck in all of China. It has a long history. The recipe was developed during imperial times. It was most famous during the Ming Dynasty.
Okay.
And it's distinguished from other ducks in that they inflate the duck.
Oh wow.
What does inflate mean?
Yeah.
It means that you actually pump air between the skin and the flesh.
Wow.
And that enables the duck to render the fat as it roasts.
Oh.
And it also creates a super crisp skin. The skin has been inflated and pulled away from the flesh. Then you ladle this mixture over the skin. And the moment you're ladling this boiling water with the malto syrup and the vinegar, and there's very little syrup and vinegar, the moment you ladle it, the skin actually starts to dry and tighten.
Wow.
And then you hang it and air dry it. And like some people do it for a few hours, but you're really supposed to do it at least overnight, and sometimes as long as 24 hours or 48 hours.
Wow.
How long do you dry it?
We dry overnight to lose the fat, sometimes more than 20 hours.
Yes. And this dish used to be enjoyed by the emperor and his family and dignitaries, and now it's still one of the most coveted dishes in Chinese cuisine. I think it's the most famous duck, right?
Yep.
Wow. Amazing.
We are top seller here on Hutong.
Wow.
Whoa, I love this. So you can see them hanging. Take a seat.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Yeah, isn't that gorgeous?
Oh.
Wow.
Grace, I'm salivating. My stomach is growling just looking at it.
And so they're all hung around this oven. And in old China, they used to use a wood burning oven just to roast ducks, and it's a gas stove. But the chef tells me there's also charcoal inside.
Wow. So that maybe gives us a more smoky flavor potentially?
Yes. After the ducks are dried, that's when we stuffed our ducks with ginger, scallions. Do you do that?
我哋係俾嗰啲花椒、八角, all the Chinese spicy.
Yes.
And salt and pepper a little bit.
So 冇薑同埋葱，
有啲薑。
有啲薑。 The roast ducks that you see in Chinatown have not had the skin inflated.
I see.
So they may look similar, but it's a completely different eating experience.
Yeah. To hear the sizzle too as it's coming out, it's like the fat dripping.
Yeah. That's gorgeous.
I can't wait to eat it. I'm so hungry.
I wish I had my phone. I want to take pictures.
I know. I was like, I want to take it out. It's so Instagrammable.
While the chef prepares the duck, Grace and I sit down to talk history. Did you know Asian American businesses were some of the hardest hit during the pandemic? Today, recovery is still an uphill climb. Grace has been at the front and center, fighting for awareness and protecting the legacy of Chinatowns in New York and beyond.
I'm known as the stir-fry guru, but during COVID, at the start of the pandemic, when Chinatowns all across the United States became ghost towns, that's when I really got involved with trying to help America's Chinatowns. That's when I actually started delving into the history of the Chinese in this country, because we're not taught in our schools these days about the history of the Chinese in this country. There was tremendous discrimination against them, and that's in fact why Chinatowns were created. They were ghettos that the Chinese were forced to live in because they weren't allowed to live with other Americans.
Wow.
They were only able to survive because of restaurants, Chinese restaurants. Americans have always been obsessed with delicious Chinese food and their laundries. Chinese cooking in this country has a long and storied history.
Just then, Chef Ken Lin rolls up with that glistening, crispy Peking duck.
Oh my God, look at this.
Beautiful.
Wow. Isn't that gorgeous? Peking duck has always been a very theatrical dish, and it's about presentation. And oftentimes the chef will carve the duck tableside. But to flambe it like this, nobody does this.
Super special.
Yeah. This is amazing. Oh my God.
I'm so excited.
Wow.
Hutong, at least to my knowledge, was the first restaurant in New York City that started flaming the Peking duck tableside, and it's a trend that I've now seen at different restaurants throughout New York.
Right. And of course, what this is doing, the flame is actually making it even crisper and caramelizing the skin just a touch more.
Yeah.
Wow. Traditionally, it's just the skin that is eaten. But these days, the skin is often served with the meat.
Right.
In the old days, the way it was classically served was to just serve the skin with either the mandarin pancakes and steamed buns.
Okay.
And then the meat was served as a second dish.
Yes.
And that was stir-fried, sometimes with garlic chives, sometimes with bean sprouts.
Yeah.
And then a third dish was made with the bones of the duck. So it was simmered into a light broth and served with Napa cabbage and tofu in the broth.
Amazing.
Yeah. So nothing is wasted. The duck can do so much, right? You can create so much with this one duck.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Enjoy your duck.
Wow.
Oh my God. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Stunning. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
God.
much.
The best when it's made perfectly as it has been here, the skin has a lacquered finish and it should be really crisp.
Yeah.
When you eat mediocre Peking duck, and there's so much of that out there, the skin is actually chewy, right? You can't bite
that
into
nice
it,
crunch.
crackle. Yeah.
Shall we?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love how
It's so delicate.
It's so delicate, so nice and thin.
So I'm going to give you at least 2 slices.
Oh my gosh, so generous. Thank you.
And there's a little meat here.
Oh,
Cheers.
I'm so excited. Wow.
And the scallions and the cucumber really complement. It's a different crisp texture that you're getting from the cucumber.
It's so bright and light, and it kind of counteracts the fattiness of the duck,
Yes.
because I feel kind of like the fat coating my lips in such a nice way.
And that little bit of meat, even though it's not traditional, is so wonderful.
The Peking duck is crispy and juicy, a total perfection. But as Grace reminds me, behind every delicious plate is a community that needs support.
Particularly today, what are Chinatown restaurants and businesses facing?
The history of the Chinese in this country has been an experience of struggle, but resilience, overcoming so many different challenges. What we're living through right now is really a very powerful example of what the Chinese have gone through.
Yeah.
What they went through during COVID, there was anti-Asian hate crimes. Because of COVID, they've been dealing with a loss of business. From Honolulu to New York City, all the Chinatowns across America have been dealing with reduced foot traffic and tourism and inflation on every level, from rising rents to the food costs, insurance, utilities, and now with these latest tariffs. Chinatowns were just beginning to come back, and now this is really putting businesses on the brink of collapse. And many of them feel that they cannot survive more than 2 or 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
They have created an existential threat to all Chinatowns across the United States.
As a community, how can we kind of come together and combat this?
The most important thing right now is to support your local Chinatown by showing up to the restaurants, and not just the restaurants, but more importantly, the shops and the markets. 90% of their goods coming from China. One restaurant told me a 40-pound bag of rice has gone from $25 to $61.
Oh my goodness. Rice goes from 25 to 61. I can only imagine all of the other ingredients that go into different dishes.
The spices, the soy sauce, the oyster sauce, all of that. Many businesses have told me that they've seen a 30% loss of business. And we're not only at risk of losing these businesses, but we're losing their living history, the cultural traditions that they bring, and ultimately community.
Right. And even though in history Chinese immigrants were kind of forced into these communities, they have created something so vibrant and alive that we all get to benefit from, whether we're Chinese or not.
Exactly.
And we can't lose that. It's part of the backbone of New York City specifically. I mean, I grew up going to Chinatown every weekend with my family and going to Mae Lai Wah and getting some pineapple pork buns and being able to enjoy dim sum on weekends. Like, we can't lose that.
You're a real New Yorker. Exactly, yes. And I always say that Chinatown is one of the things that makes New York City great.
Right.
And Chinatowns make America great.
They do.
Chinatowns aren't just foodie destinations. They're living history, carrying the stories of immigrants who have and continue to shape American culture. And because dessert deserves an equal spotlight at the table, I have to bring in Chef Kan Zhang. She's redefining Chinese pastries with desserts that honor tradition while feeling fresh and modern through her unique lens. You have to see it for yourself.
With the sound,
Oh my God.
It's a melting of the dry ice.
this is so experiential.
I have never seen anything like this.
So stunning.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
So it's just a moment for the beauty.
I've never seen anything like this before.
So beautiful.
What a memorable way to end the meal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're unreal. This is crazy.
Thank you. So Chinese treasure bowl is also known as a wealth pot, which is believed to have the magical power to multiply whatever that you put inside of it. It is also a symbol of Chinese people's best wishes for the good fortune and the endless treasure. So it's just like we take our dessert as a treasure and then we put our treasure on the treasure bowl. So we also hide a piece of the lucky coin charm underneath one of the desserts. So whoever finds the lucky coin, and we say the people got the best wishes for the good fortune and the endless treasure.
So it's like this, but it's hiding somewhere?
Yeah, it's all around.
All around.
Yeah, but there is a lucky coin charm, which is underneath one of the desserts.
Wow.
Yeah, you will find it. You'll find it.
Can you tell us about each of the different desserts on the bowl?
So on the treasure bowl, we have our signature dessert bao and soy on the top, and mala chocolate at the back with the Hong Kong milk tea tiramisu on the side. And with a side of the strawberry explosion and peanut butter truffles. For this dessert, we have a mala cremeux, like in the layer of the chocolate mousse, which is you cannot see it. But when you dig it into it, and then you will taste the mala flavors.
Wow.
Yeah. And it paired with the sour plum soup sorbet, which is like a Chinese hot pot. When you go to a Chinese hot pot place, and you have the very spicy Chinese hot pot. And then when you go to the beverage menu, you will see the sour plum soup in the menu. And then, yeah, so it's kind of like it's inspired from that kind of story.
Chef, you're so creative. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Our signature dessert on the top, which is bao and soy. The idea is coming from Chinese breakfast, which is a steam bun and a glass of soy milk. We convert it into a bao-shaped white sesame mousse cake, and then we serve it with a scoop of soy milk ice cream instead.
It's just exquisite. And it's so beautiful that every dessert has meaning.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do you kind of get your inspiration from? Obviously, you're talking about some of the traditions, but how did you conceptualize all of this?
I love to be a storyteller of food that I made. Based on my Chinese background, because this Chinese culture is just too abundant to be just delivered as one dish,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be that one, to tell the story about Chinese culture through my food I made.
I really see the fire and the passion in you, not just in the food that you're presenting, but in the way that you're talking about it. How did you even get into becoming a pastry chef and making desserts?
When I started fell in love with pastry, I was in Connecticut, working with a pastry chef called Tommy Giuliano. He just opened the pastry world for me. He just showed me how pastry could be as beautiful as an art. After years of working in different cuisines restaurants, and I feel like I have to went back to my origin, which is a Chinese food inspired restaurant. I will never forget about my background, how I grown up as a Chinese.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people know about French desserts and Italian desserts, and Chinese desserts isn't something that you normally talk about. You're really putting it in the foreground.
You're pioneering a whole new field for Chinese chefs.
I'm trying. Thank you.
Grace, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
Because I've had this before, and it is one of my favorite desserts in the city.
Oh my God.
So fun.
I wasn't expecting that it would be hard on the outside.
Yeah, it's a chocolate shell on the outside to keep the shape of it. But when you dig into it, it's a white sesame mousse with the caramel,
Oh my
salted
God.
caramel in the center.
Oh my God.
And
so
on the
decadent.
bottom is the sesame candy, which is like also one of my childhood memory about the sesame candy that I ate.
And what is this?
It's a soy milk ice cream. So we made the soy milk in the house for fresh.
Okay, you have to dive in.
I personally love soy milk, but I never envisioned it as an ice
As
cream.
an ice cream.
Oh my
How
God.
do you guys like it?
It's so delicate.
There's a sweetness, there's a
Sweetness,
savoriness to it,
Yes.
with like the brightness from the lime zest, which is just the perfect touch. And it's just a mixture of different textures. It's soft, it's crunchy.
Yeah,
Wow.
different textures.
I love this dessert so much.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Most Chinese restaurants are not known for their desserts, and it's typical to serve fresh fruit.
Yeah, fruits, or maybe some very simple scoop of ice cream and sorbet.
Oh my God, here it is.
Yes, so you found it. So you're the one who got the best wishes.
Oh my God, and so how beautiful, because these are the traditional coins for good fortune.
That's beautiful.
Oh my
And
God.
sent to you.
You too.
Desserts are normally about just the taste and the decadence, and what you've added to it is there's so much meaning behind everything you've created,
Yes.
which is so Chinese.
I guess the majority of people in this country think about Chinese food, it's Chinese takeout. It's not this elevated version
Yes.
of Hutong where you have flaming Peking duck tableside. You have this beautiful treasure bowl. Like, I think Hutong is in a lane of changing perception of what Chinese cuisine is and can be.
You've actually hit on a very important challenge for Chinese cuisine in this country, and that is that it's perceived as a cheap food, inexpensive. And it is. When you go to Chinatown, the majority of the restaurants are more affordable than other restaurants. And that becomes a challenge for Chinese cuisine in this country because you don't see elevated restaurants like Hutong, right? And so people are less accustomed to thinking that when I eat Chinese food, it can be expensive and fine dining. They're accustomed to thinking of French cuisine that way, Italian, Japanese, but there has been a barrier with Chinese cuisine.
Grace really nailed it with that last comment, but I know the new generation of chefs is flipping the script on that whole perception. And that's what I love about them. They're remixing classics without losing the soul.
I will never forget about my background, how I grown up as a Chinese. And I love what I'm doing. That's very important. Have the passion on it. So yeah.
Chef Khan's words hit me right in the feels. Instant nostalgia overload. So of course, I have to take you to Little Manila, aka the heart of New York's Filipino community, where every bite tastes like home. We have so many Filipino essentials here. Ihawan has been a staple of the community for 30 years, serving Filipino barbecue and other Kapampangan classics.
Barbecue, lumpiang Shanghai.
Isang pirasong chicken and pork
Sige.
with and Shanghai.
This is fresh calamansi juice. Calamansi is a fruit in the Philippines that's a mix of like lemon and lime. The perfect, refreshing sip. I love calamansi. Okay, this is lumpiang sariwa, which means fresh lumpia. A lot of people know lumpiang Shanghai, which is the fried mini egg rolls, and this is a big version that's fresh and with a gorgeous peanut sauce. Cheers! Oh my god!
Cora represents a new generation of Filipino bakeries, using their skills to turn Filipino flavors into edible art. Then there's Purple Dough, a full-on ube wonderland. Mark, tell me everything about your ube leche flan.
Our ube leche flan is our signature dish. Actually, as a matter of fact, the ube leche flan that everybody get to know now all over America and the Philippines, actually ready in this very kitchen. 7 years ago, when I just started the shop, it started just a regular leche flan, but later on, we added the ube part on it, and also a take on the Mexican choco flan. The chocolate and half leche flan. We just did it a Filipino way, a modern way, by adding the ube.
Just look at the colors, yum. Okay, next we are heading to Tadhanà, New York City's only Filipino fine dining restaurant, led by powerhouse chef Frances Tariga. She's cooked for literal royalty, one sushi master, and now she's elevating Filipino cuisine with bold flavors and a bold vision. Of course, I couldn't resist hopping into the kitchen with her, because why just watch when you can cook and eat, right?
Chef, what are we making today?
We're gonna make beef ribeye tiula itum. It's like the Mindanao dish that not a lot of Filipinos know.
I don't even think I know.
Exactly.
What is this?
So it's like from a Maranao dish.
Okay.
So basically it's a burnt coconut sauce. Burnt coconut, a lot of ginger and turmeric.
Smell it,
So,
it smells amazing.
Sinangag means
Fried rice.
yay! Your Tagalog word's good.
Specifically, garlic fried rice.
Sinangag na kabute, which is like mushroom fried rice.
Okay.
All right. So you're gonna just pull it with the towel, this one.
Okay.
And then we're gonna cut it. There you go, duroc pork. Like the Wagyu pork, basically, not the korobuta.
The Wagyu of pork.
Yep,
And pork is super important
Pork.
to Filipino culture, diba?
exactly, yep. So while we're waiting for this to get hot, we're gonna start cutting our liempo. And then we're gonna put our wings inside so later we can eat it all together.
Okay.
Yep, our rice, our inasal, our ribeye, and then our pork. That's a lot of food.
A lot of food, but classic Filipino style is always family style.
Yes,
Right?
that's how we
Putting
do it.
everything out and we eat everything family style.
Yep, put 15 minutes.
Ooh,
You're good. All right, you're fine. All right.
look at us.
Why is it ringing? Anyway,
didn't know you were gonna have me cooking in the kitchen today.
Yep, me too. All right, so cut it like on this side, 5 slices.
5.
Be careful, that's very sharp knife, okay?
I got you.
1 stroke.
Is that thick enough?
Yes, that's fine. Woo! Hey!
Oh my gosh.
Hey!
Francis, I'm hungry. So it smells amazing right now, super savory. I'm getting some
plate it in
sweetness,
the-
right?
Yes.
What's the sweetness coming from?
It's the banana ketchup glaze.
Banana ketchup
Yep,
glaze.
which is the national ketchup of the Philippines.
Yes.
Why banana? I'll tell you why.
Why?
So, when the Americans came to the Philippines, they brought tomato ketchup. But there's not a lot of tomatoes in the Philippines, but we have a lot of bananas. So what we did is we made our version after World War II.
Yeah.
And then that becomes the national ketchup of the Philippines.
And it's slightly sweeter.
Yes.
Less, obviously not tomatoey.
Yep, no tomato at all, but it's colored red.
Banana ketchup. What type of mushrooms are these?
Onshimeji.
That's a Japanese mushroom, yeah?
Yes. Kabute in Tagalog.
Kabute.
Kabute.
That's my favorite sound. The sound of something sizzling in a pan. My perfect ASMR.
Do you want to toss it a little bit
Okay.
while I season it? Hey! You're doing good.
Maybe I'll stage for the day.
All right, now we're gonna add our rice. Not a lot of rice. So we use short grain rice. I really like the texture of a short grain rice. Let me just do it for you. Smells so good. The
It really
mushrooms
does.
really.
So fragrant. Has that natural umami in them.
All right. Napalaban ako ng luto ah. What we do here at Tadhanà is we add some nostalgic stuff in our fried rice, which is, you call this the tutong.
Tutong.
The crispy rice.
That comes at the bottom of the rice cooker.
Yep. It's very special for me because, like, I think growing up, that's what I like to eat. Is the tutong.
And it adds that extra texture of crispiness
Yeah.
to the very like soft, fluffy rice.
So you're gonna just put it in the center.
Okay.
Wow. She washed her hands. Don't worry about it.
I did, I promise.
And then add a little bit of the spee leaves. Make sure you add a little bit of the bagsik.
Baksik, tell us about it.
It's a spiced vinegar.
Right.
But it's not like the typical Filipino vinegar. We made it our own.
Yeah.
This is a very savory spice.
And this is super typical in the Philippines because pork is very fatty and rich.
And we want to
And vinegar, vinegar cuts a lot of that richness, no?
Uh-huh.
And also vinegar is super important to our culture to preserve a lot of different ingredients because we live in a very hot climate.
One.
Uh-huh.
And then you're gonna cut the corner
Cut the corner.
so that you can see the inside. Wow.
Wow.
So we call this Inasal Na Relyenong Pakpak. It's a stuffed chicken wing. Inundas pa tayo eh. So this is what we're gonna do. You wanna cut this again.
Talk to me about the inspiration behind these two dishes.
Inasal is very famous in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And like, I really wanna do some Filipino food that's like, I really enjoy eating, like growing up, you know. I like, you know, the aunties, they always say, I can cook that at home. This one is a little hard. They can cook this at home.
They can't cook it at home. But inasal traditionally is like grilled chicken.
It's a grilled chicken wing. And then we stuff it with embutido. Embutido is like a festive Filipino sausage. You want to dip the other
Embutido.
with raisins and tender juicy hot dog.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's nostalgic for me when there's like tender juicy hot dog because that's how I used to eat it. So we're just gonna garnish it.
And then so what made you think about combining inasal with embutido?
It's just something different, you know. Embutido is my favorite thing. Like, you can eat it cold, right? And then inasal is like very nostalgic for me because like it's like savory, sweet, and everything.
Right.
So put it together, it turns out really good. I've been cooking for 21 years, and I feel like I have the experience and the knowledge of like elevating Filipino cuisine.
Right.
And I think this is our time. All of us here at Tadhanà, we're all Filipinos that wanted to put Filipino food
On the map.
On the map, basically.
And Tadhanà means destiny, right?
Yes. So yeah,
This is your destiny,
this
Francis.
is my destiny. This is my favorite, actually.
Cheers. Cheers, me.
Cheers.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Oh,
Boneless.
super savory. There's a nice sweetness from the peas and the hot dog, a little sourness.
From the marinade of the lemongrass
Yeah.
from outside. Wow, this is really good, chef.
A beautiful char on the outside too that adds that smokiness.
Rationale.
This bite is the embodiment of Filipino cuisine. Salty, sour, sweet, super creative yet super comforting.
Yeah.
And I just need a bite of rice because rice is life with it.
Yep, that's why we have the rice also in the Inasal Na Relyenong Pakpak, which is the pork belly. This takes time to make. First you debone it, and then you marinate it for a day, and then you stuff it, and then you grill it, and then you plate it. It can look like it's just stuffed chicken wings, but there's a lot of process that's added into it. And like for our pork belly, we really marinate it for a day also, and then we glaze it multiply so to create that glaze.
Let's talk about vinegar for a second. In Filipino cuisine, you use it to marinate, you use it to preserve, as a dipping sauce.
That's
It's like an all-purpose condiment.
Yes,
Oh my god.
solid.
Wow. And the vinegar adds that perfect acidity and tang to like the savory sweet pork belly.
Yes.
It is like all kind of like flavor notes like salt, acid, fat, heat like in one bite. And then you take a little bit of this. And then I'm gonna get some rice.
Yep, get some rice. Yep. This is the one that we ate, kabute fried rice. It goes well with the rice.
For Filipinos, including myself, rice is
Life.
life. See, right?
I remember when I first got here in America, I'm like, they're giving me burger, and I was like, I feel like lightheaded because I haven't eaten rice for a day. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. I love how Chef Francis keeps it real. No fluff, just facts. And after devouring her food, we kick back to dish about her journey in the industry. What was it like growing up and being in this industry as both an immigrant and a female chef?
First of all, like just being in a male-dominated industry, it's already tough. And then being gay also in a tough crowd, it's like tough. But anyway, I was born and raised in the Philippines. I come from nothing also. My whole career, I was like just surviving.
Yeah.
When I started going to therapy, actually, I got sturdy with myself. That's when it's like all like, you know what? Like no one's doing like fine dining Filipino.
And I saw you do that with Trust Bay.
Trust Bay,
which
yeah.
was like the Filipino
Japanese
omakase. And you had things like, I will never forget it, that bite of bluefin tuna with the adobo type of soy sauce and garlic chip. And I felt like I was eating and tasting classic Filipino adobo, but in a sushi bite.
Yes.
Which was crazy.
Yep, and that's how I saw the opportunity. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do Japanese, maybe just Filipino tasting menu.
Yeah.
Tadhanà was supposed to be a pop-up. And then I attracted the right people. When we opened Tadhanà, we were like fully booked all the time. And then after 5 months, we were in the Michelin Guide.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, wow, we're really doing something
Special.
And yeah, we changed our menu seasonally. The beginning of the menu was like about the story of my life. And then it's like more like everyone's story in the kitchen because we are all born and raised in the Philippines.
Right.
So I want to incorporate their experiences also, which is like, I think very helpful when you're explaining the dish to the guests.
Yeah.
That you're part of it. Now it's like all of us, you know, all of us immigrants.
It's kind of a mixing pot of everyone's stories in the way that our culture is a mixing pot of other cuisines and cultures kind of coming together. You have such broad experience overall of, you worked in Dubai, you worked for the royal family, you've worked in so many restaurants in New York. How do you bring that all together in Tadhanà?
For a while, I'm trying to be someone else. But like when you stay true to who you are, like everyone, not really, but like, but it's like more like, you know what? This is what I want. This is what's good for me.
Yeah.
You know, this tastes good to me because what I learned in corporate is like, it needs to be trendy and people can relate. Now that I'm doing me, it's like people appreciate it. People see the intention. For us, this is a dream, just showcasing Filipino cuisine on a different level.
How do you think people overall perceive Filipino food today?
People think that it's like exotic, We're not. Actually, there's 7,700 islands in the Philippines, 77 dialect. All those islands are very rich in culture.
Right.
You know, the Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, that's what we're trying to do here. It's like not just your lumpia and adobo, there's more to it, you know? And also Philippines, we're conquered by a lot of Spaniards, Japanese, Americans, so it's like mixed culture. We want to showcase it here.
We are a melting pot of different cultures and have influence from Spanish food, Chinese food,
Japanese,
Malaysian,
yeah.
Japanese. Like when you taste Filipino food, you kind of get notes of that, but we also stand on our own.
Yes.
As our own culture and our own cuisine.
Yes.
Being in this industry is not the easiest, and you've gone through a lot of hardships in your life. How has that impacted you and influenced your cuisine and how you work?
As an immigrant, it's really hard to be a business owner because you come from nothing. Like you start from zero.
No backup plan.
Yeah, it's very scary. Like I remember, like I was paycheck to paycheck, like probably like 10 years.
Yeah.
Because like I'm helping my family also. That's a tradition. Being a lesbian, Asian, Filipino immigrant, it's the toughest one just because they already like underestimate you. They think that you can't do it.
During that time, you were so patient, just keeping your head down, grinding, working. Was there ever a moment that you had doubt? And kind of how did you overcome that?
Every day I have doubt.
Every day?
Well, it's just like, you know, it's so hard to believe where I'm at actually. So that's that imposter syndrome. Is really, do you really think you're talented? Like, you know, you self-sabotage yourself sometimes. But the biggest gift that I give to myself is working on myself. Educate myself. If you're being true to who you are, and if you're different, you're not copying anything, you're your authentic self, that's when people appreciate you.
You're sharing your voice, you're learning and you're growing.
Yep, sometimes people does not understand me. Before I was like so conscious that like, oh, maybe they don't understand my English. Now it's like, you. If you don't understand, you can ask me again. That's not my problem anymore. I can't change how you feel. It's about conditioning your brain also. Just because like I was in that survival mentality all my life.
Speaking of the 8,000 chefs in New York City, you are the only chef that has a Filipino fine dining restaurant in the city and one of only 2 in the country. Does that feel like any pressure at all? You're kind of carrying the community on your back, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I always tell myself, like, if you feel uncomfortable, that means you're growing. I feel like the secret is I'm just, you know, show up all the time and staying true to who I am. I really didn't plan to have a fine dining restaurant. It was an accident. No, for real. It was like the people who, you know, put this together also. And we achieved like, you know, this beautiful restaurant. Am I pressured with that we're gonna get a Michelin star? Yeah, I wanna get a star. But again, like I can't control anybody. All I can do is like show up and stay true to who I am.
Yeah.
Chatting with Frances hits different. Her unapologetic authenticity inspires me as a child of immigrants, someone who grew up navigating 2 cultures. She reminds me that staying true to your roots is its own form of fine art. Tadhanà is currently on pause, but Chef Frances says she will bring it back next year. And speaking of comebacks, you remember Joomak Panjam from a past episode? Chef Jiho Kim is back with a new location and a fresh menu, pushing culinary boundaries like never before. You know I have to check it out.
Chef, beautiful. This is probably the tiniest croissant that I've ever seen, and it's so beautiful. Do you want to tell me about it?
So this is the pretzel croissant. So it is a 2 hybrid bread, like a pretzel and croissant. So we laminated the croissant dough.
Wow.
Like a shape into this mini croissant, which is a 15 gram. We made like a tiny bite, and then we finishing with the pretzel water and bake it, so you get to a little bit more like a pretzel flavored croissant.
Wow. So croissant as the vessel, but pretzel as the flavor.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is, and then very buttery flavor, yes. And then serving with a little bit of mustard cream and then a little bit of pickled mustard.
Wow, reminds me of like a New York pretzel that you get off the street,
Exactly,
but
yeah.
this is probably much better. I'm so excited to try it. Oh my goodness. Chef, that's insane. I think I'm tasting wasabi.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely tastes like a wasabi because mustard and then wasabi is very similar into it.
Oh my gosh, and it's so buttery and rich, but then there's kind of like that wasabi flavor, that mustard kind of cuts the richness.
Yeah.
Truly excellent. What was your inspiration behind this?
I wanted to make a bread, but showing a little bit more the New York City, so like Manhattan. And then one day I was walking around, and then actually Fifth Avenue, every like a street has a pretzel cart. I was thinking about like what is like just making pretzel is not kind of like not that unique. So what can I do? And then I digging into, and then like also New York is kind of like a popular. One of the bread is a croissant. So like there's a lot of bakery from Europe they open here, and then there's a lot of like a croissant bakery. So what I'm like just serve the pretzel croissant. Yeah.
Amazing.
This is our signature king crab dish. So Norwegian like a live king crab. We steam it and then we cook in the poached in butter. And then the rice, which is a sushi rice. There's a type of the rice name, it's a kushikari. It's like a premium sushi rice. This kushikari rice, we cooked with the kani miso, which is a crab head. We emulsify with a little bit of butter, soy, and then we flavored into it, and then fold it with the rice, a little bit of dashi, and then a little soft spring. So we are serving the little spring pea, and then here's a little bit we call message from the kitchen. Chefs forget the seasoning, which means that there's a frigake. Frigake is a like a rice seasoning. So and then wrapped with the gochujang, dried gochujang. Basically, you just break into the bowl and then just mix with the rice.
Oh wow, okay. Wait, so this is gochujang?
Yeah, dried gochujang.
Dried gochujang, and then it's filled with furikake.
Yeah, frigake. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
Yes.
Woo! Ah! Oh my gosh, that's so fun. I feel like a kid. Wow. I love how light and supple it is, but then there's just like that richness, like a buttery creaminess to it, the crispy furikake, and like the texture from the dried gochujang chip along with the fresh spring peas. Beautiful. Stunning.
So, this is a dish like a kind of inspiration from after school. When I got home, I'm always kind of like looking for something snack, and it's always Korea. Like we always have rice, and then just get some rice and a little bit butter, egg, and then like just like soy, then mix it with that, and then finish it with a little frigake on top. Like sprinkle a lot of frigake, and then we just eat it.
That's a snack.
Yeah, that's a snack. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very upgraded snack. Talk to me about Joomak in its new form. How is it different from its former self?
Originally, I started Joomak. That was a pop-up. And then once we found the space, and then we changed it into like a Joomak Banjang, which is like a little bit. I wanted to have like a little Chinese inspiration, like a Korean Chinese, and then like a little bit of American cuisine, blended it up. I ran 3 years, and then like was looking for the new location. Finally, I end up West Village, Mason Hudson, which is like luxury, like a boutique hotel.
I feel like you're pulling inspiration from everywhere, and it's such a unique vantage point, I guess, on cooking and cuisine. What made you kind of change the concept to what it is today?
This is just like my thought. In New York City, there's a cuisine is like very like there's Italian, Japanese, something. But I see a lot of French restaurants using a lot of like Asian ingredients, and then Asian restaurant using a lot of French cooking technique, whatever. At the end, the product is a little bit very blended, like a melting pot. Right. So I will say that is a like a New York cuisine. I don't think like there's such a like a term like a New York cuisine, but I think that's a New York cuisine. Like people using multi like culture blend into the a dish, and then also a lot of different dishes composed with a lot of different culture, different techniques, something. So this is what I tell people like a New York cuisine.
I've noticed that you take these kind of traditional Asian ingredients like wasabi and gochujang and include them in your menu in kind of unique, creative ways. What's the inspiration behind that?
This is the elderly cookbook.
Oh, wow.
This cookbook shows a lot of like ways. It's like another level, another different ways.
Very out of the box.
Yeah, he's thinking. So this cookbook gave me a lot of like little inspiration, which is like thinking a little different way.
Like, how can I cook differently and use ingredients that are familiar?
Like looking at the vision, like something more creative. So creative is like all about the chef's job, and then this how he created like the creativity. You know, some of the like ingredient like I never used for Korean japchae. Actually, I found the japchae dish in this book.
In this book?
Yeah, in this book. So he made a japchae with the langoustine. Actually, Korean, we never thought about like making japchae with the. I mean, we don't have langoustine, but never thought about like langoustine, the japchae. That sounds really interesting. And then a lot of dessert ingredient he's using for savory as well too. So he's keep like there's no border, and he's creating showing unique and creativity.
Yeah.
So that's what I really like into it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love hearing about how you have no borders with food, and this is kind of your own take on New York City cuisine, because we're all here and in this melting pot, and it's been wonderful chatting. I want to finish this rice because it's so good. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
What a fulfilling day. I feel satiated in every sense, stomach, heart, and spirit. Someone roll me out of here, please. Asian food in America isn't just about flavor. It's about resilience, creativity, and community. The story of these chefs is the story of us, pushing through, innovating, and thriving as our authentic selves. So foodies, I hope today's journey leaves you full, not just with food, but with pride. Don't forget to support your local Chinatown, explore new flavors, and celebrate our culture with every bite.
That's it for today. If you're still hungry for more, hit that subscribe button on Localish and follow me on Instagram. Be fat, be happy. I hope to see you on the next adventure. Bye.